Yeah, so look your best.
Hey, Christie.
All the time. Show me best.
Thank you so
I'd like to call the meeting of Pocahontas County Board of Education to order. All members present. Right. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is open with a pledge of allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the Board of Education special work session meeting. 24. Do I have a motion? Morgan made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Collinsworth seconded. Everybody read over the minutes? Any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Item number 2, approval of the minutes from the Board of Education meeting held on September the 3rd, 2024. Have a motion.
That's.
Been made the motion. Have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb, second. Any questions or discussion on them minutes? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Item number 3 is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Make a motion, second.
I'll second.
Mr. McNabb, second. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yes, if you'll look at number 4 on your agenda, under delegations, Mr. Hardy could not be with us tonight, so we're removing him. We're going to add Katie Workman, and she's going to be,
Who's this now?
Katie Workman,
Kate.
who's going to be talking about communication. And she had emailed me earlier, as well as Tiffany Ryder. And then if you will look at your financial section on the second page of your agenda. That is page for you all in your packets, but we do need to add H, and that is budget adjustments for expiring grants. Anybody got to put that in your agenda for your packet for tonight. And then, favorite one this week, but under miscellaneous, you'll notice on 10 and 11, it says Roanoke, Virginia, and it should be Roanoke, West Virginia. We do in our policy for field trips, require the board to out of county as well as out of state for overnight trips. That is West Virginia. And then number 14, we need to add Kimberly Murphy. And 19, the executive session would be, meet for executive session is over. Questions about that?
Anything else? Thank you. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Delegations. Katie Workman, you're first. You have 5 minutes. It takes a little bit longer. I'm not really worried about
I'm on 5 minutes. Thank you. So my name is Katie Workman. I have a daughter at Marlton Elementary School. And I just would like to voice my concerns around how situations are communicated and also ask how, as parents, I can have access to policies with ease. First, I want to say I'm very glad that the initial reaction to the social media threats were taken seriously and that school was canceled. However, the vagueness of the call at 12 a.m. was very confusing and panic inducing. Therefore, when the later correspondence with gave very limited information regarding what the actual threat was and how it was being handled, and school would resume the following day. Did not give me and many other parents the confidence that it was safe to send our children to school, as could be noted by the number of absences the following day. I understand this was a fluid situation, but keeping parents in the dark does not help. When the situation arose, it brought up concerns for me from the previous school year. Last year, my daughter was in first grade and received a verbal threat of physical violence from a classmate. I was not notified of this situation and how it was being handled. I found out from my child and her teacher at soccer practice that evening. I was told the threat occurred that morning, and after not receiving any notice from administration the following day, I called and asked for a meeting with the principal. At the meeting, my husband and I asked what the protocol for a situation like this was. We were hoping for a policy that would outline exactly how these situations were handled. All we really know is the child was suspended for a day and was supposed to be kept away from our daughter, and that if this became repetitive behavior, then further steps would be taken, and we do not know what those steps were or are. My biggest question is, why wasn't I notified immediately when my child received a threat of physical violence? I bring this up because it just amplified the situation that we just experienced with how parents are informed about the safety of our children. And I would ask that these policies be reviewed and perhaps revised with input from parents, teachers, guidance counselors, law enforcement, etc., to allow parents to make the best decisions regarding the safety of their children.
Thank you. You know, under delegations, the board cannot respond back. Yeah, so we're not being rude. Well, okay, we're not being rude. We just can't respond back under delegation. Ready for Mrs. Ryder?
She is on,
Okay.
online here.
Tiffany Ryder.
I might have to have Christy Hammonds. Can you help me unmute Tiffany?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Ryder. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. I've been having some car troubles. But I joined this meeting tonight not to come on and attack the board or the school system, but to get the point across that parents want to work with you. Across America, communities are coming together and making plans to protect our kids while they get an education. We can work together to form a task force that is dedicated solely to school safety. This team could fundraise and work one-on-one with the Board of Education to brainstorm ideas. We could reach out to the community asking for help and ideas. There is no question in any parent's mind that the schools are not doing what they can to protect our kids. There's just lack of transparency. And we have many questions, and it leaves us feeling like we don't know what's going to happen if something does the unforgivable happens. There's no plan in place. So most parents, reached out to me and they agreed with me that they truly did want, some kind of transparency from the board and the schools set in place due to that vague phone call in the middle of the night that Katie even spoke of. My son is in second grade and he has a lot of years left in the education system. So I really hope that the board and the school system will work with us parents in coming together and putting plans in place. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you.
Well,
Item number 5 is, nobody else under delegation. Okay, superintendent's report, spatial recognition.
Last meeting, actually, we asked for approval to submit our needs grant to the SBA, the School Building Authority. And I wanted to let you know that we did send our documentation in. I did give you a copy, and that is just a copy. And this is what we sent out now. I sent them a folder with tabs, so they have a professional looking presentation. What will happen next is they will contact, it's been set up, there were 2 days. They'll tell us which day and for us to come and present. Having this Morgan home to go with me because of his vast knowledge of the high school. And it's mentioned, last time, all of this needs, grant is for the high school. Being said that they're trying to save our building during the maintenance, as I mentioned to Joseph as well, with when we began the meeting. This is gonna be kind of the behind the walls work that we may not see right up front when we walk into that building. But it is necessary work in order to maintain that building. So we do not have to replace the entire school. A lot of electrical work, window replacement, bathrooms to be upgraded, at least a couple, maybe one. So, but it is, so $60 million left. We will come in with 21% of those funds for million as and so that's, and also connecting the main building to the CDE building is also in this recast. Communication, I know we've heard from a couple of parents tonight. I did want to let you know that Christy Adams did attend the communication conference yesterday in Charleston. The West Virginia Department of Education, they had this planned, since the beginning of school. And Christy came back and said it was very beneficial. She's like, we're not alone in communication. I said, that's always something I know as principals, we talked about, administration meetings. We all, communication should continue to be involved and working with families and students and staff. She said that she got a lot of valuable information that she's going to share with the administrators or when we meet with the principals as well as with you all about even making our websites accessible for people who may have hearing or vision trouble as well. And she has asked, and I've said rightly, she'll be our communication officer, so we'll be working with her. She'll be working today. And I also wanted to mention that Mr. Gibson, Dwayne Gibson. Mike O'Brien and John Switzer next Monday, actually, in the afternoon, to discuss communication to communities regarding emergency protocols established by various agencies. This was, I think something that many of you all have talked to me about. So it's, I know that Mr. McNabb has also mentioned, yes, a lot of the different agencies and if you get on. And then the board schedule. The meeting on November the 12th, we would like to change that time to 4 o'clock instead of 3:30. That's when we're going to Hillsborough to make up the LSIC presentation. So
November.
it's November 12th. It'll be at Hillsborough. 4 o'clock. I think originally I said 3:30, but we're going to do 4 o'clock for the LSIC, and then the board meeting will be at 5:15. If that's okay with you all. I know it's because of their daily schedule, I know that. This has been through. I'm going to get next week. And that's all I have for this.
It's 12 November.
What do you do? Snow?
Yeah.
I know. We'll have a snow day. Should I go ahead and get those? So just last year, every time, not every time. I've been so late. 3 times we scheduled to go to Hillsborough to do an LSIC presentation and we have snow day. Or early schools or whatever. So that's kind of our joke now. It's that we want to snow day.
Do we have an update on the gym floor windows?
We are meeting again, Wayne Gibson and I are meeting with Williamson Schreiber on Monday at the high school. And that's when the architectural firm will be there. We're going to talk about the electrical upgrades and the gym floor at that time.
But I'm getting questioned on the gym floor if it's gonna be ready, because they can actually start practicing with the new SSAC rules. They got like 30 some days. Some of them are already practicing.
Right, well, I'll know what they're thinking their deadline would be. Soon.
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Sam's basketball.
Oh, I-
Oh, it should be
Exactly.
basketball.
Well, we are meeting with them at the high school.
Okay, that gives me, thank you.
Yeah. The process has to learn. Oh, yes, it's gonna be a big process. It's not something that's gonna be starting.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Ms. Cole? Okay, Rebecca Spencer, principal of Hillsborough Elementary School. You can come up here, you don't have to.
I can talk loud enough. I had previously emailed you, but I went ahead and put another copy in front of you. I'm requesting that Hillsborough have a halftime PE position created and posted. The reason for this is we had our PE cuts several years ago, and we have tried every plan to accommodate that. And for various reasons, each plan just doesn't fit any longer. The first year, we were able to move all our reading and math in the morning and do our PE in the afternoon and do it in-house, meaning elementary education teachers were teaching their own PE. That does not work for our special ed schedule any longer. We had to pull several of our reading and math into the afternoon in order to meet the needs of our special ed. The second year, we tried to double up our classes. Well, for a great reason, but we're back up to 82, 83, 81 today. 81 students. We can't double up the classes like we had in the past because it goes over the state limit of 25 and 228 because we have some 15 and 13s right beside each other. And to double a small class with another class that's not even remotely beside each other in standards doesn't work, and fifth graders playing with kindergarten don't work anyway, especially when teaching PE. So then we tried to, looking on plan 3, we said to try to just pull, each teacher teaches their own PE. We did this for, I think, part of 1 year, and it had a significant impact on our academics because in order to do that, we had to just cut a few minutes off of each of the academic classes. So reading, math, science, and social studies were hurt in time. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it did make an impact. Not to mention, ran the teachers ragged, giving them one more prep, one more thing to do. Hurry up, run to the gym, get all the equipment out, teach your own PE, now put all the equipment back, and now go teach reading. It was a little rough on everyone. Last year, Mr. Morgan graciously offered to teach PE and music. Now, the problem with this is still doubling classes is putting that maximum limit on our kids, or how many kids we have in a class, and he's not certified to teach PE. So that doesn't work. Kind of squeezed in a little bit to try to alleviate the negative impact we were doing to our academics, but it's not a plan that we can sustain because it's not by code. So we need PE. I don't see any way around it, and it's not a request we've made lightly. We've tried for several years to make the cut to our PE program work. We've tried everything, and it just doesn't work any longer. And when I say, first of all, my staff is amazing, and if you look at our summative assessment scores and how much they have gone up in just 1 year. But looming over all elementary at this moment is the third grade success act, where we have to have 100% compliance of students being at grade level in reading and math within next year, I believe.
Yes.
If they are not, they will not go on to the fourth grade. So when we're asking this request, it is with, we know how hard we have to work to make this happen. And we know what we need to accomplish that. And it's definitely not trying to juggle one more schedule for PE into a teacher's lap that's already working really hard to get these kids up to grade level. So that's our request. We need a halftime PE position.
So you're asking for halftime meeting?
Yes.
Do you have somebody in mind that would do that?
Well,
I have a sub. So I have a body, yeah. It will not be a certified person, but I definitely could make it happen if that's what.
We can't, it's not on the agenda, it's something we can't vote on tonight. No, you can't vote on the, she's on the agenda. She's on the agenda, but that has to be an agenda item if you're gonna hire somebody. It has to be an item.
Personnel.
Yeah, it has to be under personnel. Well,
And you lost.
You had a full-time person that was halftime special ed, halftime.
Yes, no. At the beginning of this school year, I had 2 special ed teachers and a special ed aide. And I didn't need 2 full-time special ed teachers and a special ed aide. So I utilized the position as halftime special ed teacher, halftime PE, and we rolled. And I requested that that position, which was continually being posted because Brianna was doing it as a substitute, be changed to be halftime. What occurred instead was that person needed to be special ed, and the special ed aide position was, it wasn't abolished because you all didn't do it, but it was not posted or filled. So one whole position was cut from my plan, which threw my plan out the window. So if you work with the positions we had at the beginning of the year, we can make it work if the special ed was changed to halftime special ed, halftime PE, and the aide position was put back in. We had it working for a few weeks.
but I think you're referring to Mrs. Sherrick. She was halftime special ed, and then she was halftime PE. And when the State Department came in and said we had to have a full-time special education teacher, we, in order to get Mrs. Buzzard back in the classroom all day, we had to trade out everything to get, and we did our own PE then, to get her in the classroom all day, because Mrs. Alderman was trading out, and it was a nightmare for our kids. That was continually, I feel like we can handle all of these chaos plans.
Back up, did you say you had 81 kids now?
Yes.
That's right. Is this issue only, is this, right now, is this a Hillsborough only problem?
Just like.
If you look at the county, Marlinton has both music and PE. I don't know if they have art. Green Bank Elementary has music, art, and PE. They have PE every day, music every day, and art once a week. So yes, it's in Hillsborough, where we have,
Okay, so PE, talking about PE.
yes.
So right now, Hillsborough doesn't have PE.
It's a state requirement. We have to have PE in elementary school.
So 81 kids is going without PE.
Yep,
As of last Monday, right?
yes.
We've been without it for 7 days.
And then, on a first day, we've been keeping track. We have PE today, no, it's music, yes. When are we gonna have PE?
Or not.
We have a meeting tonight, we're working on it, I promise.
And I hear it every evening going home from 3 kids. When are we getting our PE back? We want our PE back. So I'm telling you, kids want it. And the kids are gonna start yelling and you're gonna have parents come there. Trust me. I'm ready to sell.
Policy.
So it's required.
Yes.
But is it
Can work into our schedule, I would love to see it.
But I want to ask this question. If we do 40 minutes a week, 3 times, that is 160 minutes. That is over 2.5 hours. We're giving up academically to do that.
You don't have to do it. If you look at 2520, it doesn't say every day.
It's 2520 says 30 minutes 3 times a day. 3 times a school. I mean, 3 times,
3 times, that's what
3
it
times,
is.
yes.
Okay, that's an hour and a half that we're giving up academically to these students. And if you're in my classroom and you come in and you start working, there's no time to give up any academics.
Well, you're going to have to give up academics now.
Not if we have it during our music, if we have 5 days a week, if we rotate it with music.
We can break up our classes and not have double classes, because right now he has double classes and he's out of requirements. Because we can't fit it all in.
Right. We will
But we
rather
could do some classes have PE one day while the others have music, and they could rotate them all.
because it doesn't fit to put 6 classes in a halftime anything. Because
To get a little confusing.
you have to have some kind of elective for 40 minutes in order to give the teachers planning time.
And that's 40 minutes.
Every day. So we have music, but there's not enough Mr. Morgan to go around, so we have to double the classes just to get the planning. When we had the PE rotation at the beginning of the year, we were able to give everyone planning. All kids had 2 days of music, 3 days of PE, and it all fit in a halftime because we weren't doubling the classes. A class was going to music or PE.
So when you're doing on your schedule, you have science/wellness. What is the wellness part? Is that
That is the PE requirement that is the health and the science part, because PE has standards that are paper, pencil, health and wellness, and then they have physical requirement. So that 30 minutes of physical requirement is what we're needing help with. We do the wellness standards within the science.
Well, the next question is to Sherry. Sherry. Can't wait.
That's really fun.
They have to be, what was that again?
If you do not have someone certified, it's county funded.
This young lady you're talking about, what do you like about being certified?
I have a year left of school, so,
We got you.
yeah.
It's not a practice test.
it is, but there is some classes.
There is, yeah, it's about to take them, but
So now, you have to create a position first. Here you got October 1st, and we don't count.
We have the money for the A position.
For a position. So I probably didn't have it in my budget. I didn't have the extra teacher.
There's a lot of people that we've got posted for hiring that we've got nobody to fill.
Substitutes.
We have substitutes in the position. So I think there is room in that budget for a halftime if we can find somebody certified. If we get certified, then the state will cut.
How many are you saying? One.
How many professionals?
Yeah, for 1,400.
No.
Number of staff that we are required to have in the classrooms.
so they
Where
tell
are
us.
we at now?
I'm right at it.
That tells me nothing. Are we one over, one below, are we two? But whenever you say right at it, don't give me a definitive answer.
We have hired people and moved them around. I couldn't tell you right where we are right now. I was with your financial.
Well, it's state required. We have to.
It's a state requirement that is to do it, but not as a full-time teacher. And rates.
Then you're gonna get into paying for my planning, because I'll teach PE on my planning 2-3 days a week, but you're gonna have to buy my planning and their planning, because I'm not doing it.
I'm not willing to give up.
I can't do that, I mean, well, just, I mean,
The alternative is,
I mean, I would think so.
Oh, yeah.
I would think that's kindergarten through 5th grade. Brand with two cheaper than me.
What point, when we're looking at all these policies and all these, this magic, number to fix all of the problems that we have, at what point do you think that our school is at their breaking point? If you solve everything that we take on every day, at what point do you decide we're at our breaking point? it's not fair for Hillsborough teachers to have to teach their PE, but every other elementary school in the county does not have to teach their PE.
It's not fair to the kids either, because if you have a disabled PE teacher and they're doing the units and they're doing skills. When we did it that part of the year, it was oh my gosh, it's PE, come on, let's go. And if you don't have time to prep and you don't have time to really give those kids the skills they need. And it's showing in the sports, it's showing just skipping and jumping and hopping and the crossing over the midline that they need it.
It's just not a state report that our kids need, because 90% of them go home and play Xbox.
Uh-huh.
It ain't like the kids we grew up in classic, playing basketball.
What if we, is there Marlinsons or closest?
Still, the PE teacher, is there somebody we could share that person is dealing with?
We talked to Philip and I've talked to Nebraska for 2 years now, and they don't have any room to give either. Because we looked at, prior to rift and transfer, is there any way to move personnel around, make them halftime, but they have just as many state requirements as we do. And Hillsborough doesn't whine. My staff work 20 minutes over 3 times a week and nobody hears that.
Yeah.
They don't whine. They go above and beyond every day.
Yeah.
So when they're asking, it's important.
Yeah.
And to me, it's gonna boil down to, what are you prioritizing? A halftime PE and the finances behind it, which I'm not discounting that is important. But what do you want to say to those 3rd grade parents when we didn't make every effort we could to pull these kids up and get them where we need to be? That's going to make a public nightmare.
I think
The best argument is the education, the loss of education time. That's a lot, hours, that's hours a week. We're losing.
I think it's a state requirement. You have to have. There, I will get it.
Okay, we gotta create a position, but you can actually create a position and then have on the same agenda.
Okay.
Mr. President, I make a motion that
We can't make motions not on the agenda, Mr. Gibson. Well,
Can I make a motion that we place this on next meeting's agenda? Yeah, it can. What grade did it have to be certified? I heard there was like a
Elementary education, anyone with an elementary education certification. Now,
I mean,
or PE,
Or just PE.
or just PE. Rob Peter to play call here. I have sub in the special ed job, but I also have a certified applicant for the special ed job. I have a sub that would love to go to halftime because she's still a full-time student. It's a little rough. So I wouldn't be, right now, I'm still with a position not certified for October 1st. But if the posting that already went up and already came back down was filled with that person, that position would be paid by the state. That is currently not being paid by the state.
this is looking better here.
If we post this, please understand, anybody can apply. It might not be the
Yes.
people
Yes,
we're looking at, the people with the best. Then if a certified teacher applies,
yes.
of course, they're gonna be up to get the job.
And bring it to test, it's in a position that day by day, if anyone certifies, applies over her.
Yeah.
But she's also going to be an amazing teacher one day.
We can use you as a sub anywhere, any day.
Well, then I make a motion that we place,
Just ask Ms. Paulson.
I make a motion that we place the Hillsborough halftime PE
which one, halftime PE position on next.
our next scheduled meeting agenda.
you're gonna do that twice. You gotta create a position and then post it. But you can do that on the same agenda.
Let me do that, same, okay, so let's amend my motion. I make a motion that we create a posting and then put that on the next scheduled Pocahontas County BOE meeting.
Mr. Gibson's made the motion. Do we have a second? Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. It'll be put on the agenda, and we'll do that, Mrs. Baltic, we'll do both. We'll put the create the position and then hire somebody that same night.
My request is to have the position go to October first of the position, a sub in that position, so I can at least count.
Yes, you got a sub in that position.
I need a person in that position as a sub, so I can at least get half of our money for that position.
So do I,
Permission to do positions until October first.
We did.
Yes.
We just lived to have it October 25th.
So you can go ahead and fill that position.
Yeah, but our postage goes out Thursday.
And we approve it.
She can actually hire somebody to do that. And then bring it to the board at the next meeting and we'll just approve it. But she can actually go ahead and hire somebody in the next place. But I think what day in October did you say, Mrs.? The 25th, so you're gonna place.
We have to have them posted for by. Is the first is on Tuesday.
First is Tuesday.
so question, if you're posting the position Thursday, is that the day I can fill it with a sub?
You can so.
So that's, I don't know if I'm good enough to get it filled by tomorrow, but definitely I'll work on that.
This you have.
I could, but she's already also filling the one that I have an applicant for that got a pin stuck in it until this could be resolved.
Because we can't, but we keep us for a position that isn't.
Well, that's what if it's posted Thursday, right? So as of Thursday's my goals. Well, as of Friday, because it'll be posted on Thursday.
Create a position and fill.
And we might even have to do extra. You know, go ahead and post it tomorrow so that it can come down, even so we can hit that October 1st.
Gotcha.
If we can get it out tomorrow, which, and let everybody know, it's like special posting. So we can have it filled.
How long does posting have to be up for?
5 working days,
5 working days.
Because we start Thursdays, bring down Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Well, we can send the posting out on mass email to all staff as a special posting.
Yes.
And then if they say, I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I really don't see one. It's kind of employee transferring to half-time position. You never know.
And a lot of counties will do that, they'll do a special. We just find, regularly, you can do it on Thursdays.
Abe was halftime. The high school, did we fill that with a halftime or a full time?
Abe's position we abolished because we only didn't like it.
Okay. All right.
Now we don't have to.
No. Yeah, they just got one because they. Okay. Any other discussion?
So did that mean Leanne goes to work tomorrow?
We didn't change anything that she's been doing. We're just gonna post the position.
I think she's been working.
We didn't change that.
Yeah, you.
Thank you.
You got what you wanted.
Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a crowd.
No, all the help. Numbers, that's exactly. Number 7, information reports and student achievement, Dwayne Gibson and Sherry Ratcliffe, community oriented policy services grant. Sherry, you're up. Since Mr. Gibson's not here, I guess.
So we filed for our grant that we got through schools and we did more on yours. We actually asked for $544,841. And we received $408,631. We do not have the grant, so we're not sure what they cut out. That's about $136,000. So there's something that we're not gonna get in this. And we are afraid it's rekeying our doors. But we had for cameras at all the schools, so it would all be alike, and access controls and rekey. So. Wayne and I talked today, we figured what it may be, is probably gonna be rekeying the doors that they didn't approve. So we will keep you updated. Agenda for approval. We did get it. We got $408,631 of it. We didn't get the full amount. Yeah, we did get it. I'm sorry.
What, I mean, let's just talk about what if they don't, what if we don't get that?
We have to bring it for $408,000. We don't know what piece they left out.
Oh.
We're assuming it's gonna be rekeying all the doors. That, because that's not a necessity, that's a desire. Because we have doors that lock.
No, we don't. There's 2 at the high school, they said, I'll get you a circle.
That's not, the access control will cover that. It's rekeying the inner side doors.
So this grant will help take care of the problem at the high school. The doors at the high school that don't lock right.
Should.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Rathman?
Well, I was gonna say we should have number 2 here, it should be our student representative for system.
Okay, did we miss it?
No, I mean,
It's not on the agenda. Okay, student representative. Joseph, go ahead.
Riley couldn't be here tonight because she got stuck in a soccer game. But I first want to mention that I think the communication with the concerns was as best as we could get. I think Ms. Taylor and Ms. Foster, they addressed it as best as they could. I mean, there's only so much you can say with an ongoing investigation. I mean, if you say too little, parents are going to get mad. If you say too much, parents are going to speculate and want to look is. But on a lighter note, we have homecoming coming up soon, and we're starting our activities soon and playing the bowling. So a lot of things have been calming down a little bit, and there's not too much going on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Randall's thing on the doors, address your other concern with doors.
Number 8, approval of the following consent financial requirements. Section, the attachments. Do I have to read all of them?
We can read them.
Okay.
We've already read.
We've already read them. Are there any questions? Although, I need a motion. Morgan made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Hollins, we're second. Any questions or anything on this? Everybody done read it? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries.
That also includes your financial statements.
This one? This is the 24 financial statement. How about the 24-25 school year, right?
Well, that's the budget. No, I'm not ready for it. Handle that.
Okay.
Don't be pushing.
That's what we're
That was something higher than that.
Huh?
That was something higher than that.
That's true.
24.
You gotta do 24, do 40, do 25.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Number 9, approval of Mr. Andy Gibson and 8 students to go out of state October the 23rd. Andy Free. To go out of state on October the 23rd and October the 28th, 2024 to attend National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Morgan made a motion, have a second. Seconded. Any questions on Mr. Freeland taking the children to Indianapolis? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Number 10, approval for Mr. Bill Brown and 5 students to travel out of state on September the 30th, 2024 to Stonewall Resort. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We're not going out of state.
Right.
To travel in-state on September 30th, 2024 to Stonewall Resort in Roanoke, West Virginia to attend culinary boot camp. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Wait, motion second. You're fighting over two. Okay. Any questions on this? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Number 11, approval of Miss Molly Lambert to travel out of county on September 30th, 2024 to Stonewall Resort in Roanoke, West Virginia to attend culinary boot camp. Have a motion. Make the motion. Have a second. Ms. Hollingsworth, second.
Be quiet.
Huh?
Be quiet.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah, we're back on the gun.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries. Okay. Now we turn to question.
Before you go on, I want to mention back in the finances, we did purchase, and which it was in the finance of the purchase was a 25 driver's ed vehicle, which it is in there from Mitchell's. That's
We purchased it, we couldn't.
what we were paying on the fee. In 2 years, I could buy a new vehicle. So we bought a new vehicle, which will last us years.
Well, that was on the van.
I know.
The van store? Did it not get the van?
High school CTE.
News about it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's, yeah, that, start them out in the van, that's the way to do it.
I do have to mention it since.
I understand what you're saying, there, Sheriff. I understand. Okay, number 12, approval for Mr. Andy Friel and 2 students to travel to Sutton, West Virginia on September the 23rd, 2024 to attend the West Virginian Bar Bond Training.
So moved.
I don't know what that is, but yeah,
Must be something with the environment.
must be. Morgan made the motion, Mr. McNabb seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. I don't know what they're doing there, but I hope they have fun. Approval for the Falls Edition fundraiser for Green Bank Elementary, Mornington Middle donors, shoes, the attachment. All those make a motion.
So moved.
Morgan make the motion. Mr. McNabb second. You're like 13. And this just gives them the right to fundraise, correct?
Have to do it within 14 days and then stop, restart. And it is to help with the gym repairs.
That is Green Bank.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 14, approval of the following as substitute aides for Pocahontas County Schools, state minimum service personnel salary for the 24-25 school year. Rebecca Petit, Monica Rush, Stephanie Aaron Boone, Virginia Jenny Shaw, Angela Taylor, Michaela Van Deveter, Michelle Wilfong, and Kimberly Murray. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Morgan made the motion. I have a question. Is Jenny, what's second motion for? Miss Hobbs for a second.
I'll say.
Now go ahead.
Oh, I, okay. My fault. Read the name wrong. She knows. Yeah. No, well, no. I thought it was Jeannie Calhoun.
Jenny Shaw.
Instead of Miss Shaw.
She done this way, so I have to read it. I said, I'll stick with this. Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Will these, are these new hires? Or we need to draw names?
We'll do it tonight.
Teacher.
Hey, do they get service personnel pay grade?
Service, great. It's our years of service as professional service person.
And they get credit to the scholarship.
We have more.
Yeah, we have several. On the list list.
Approval number 15 on the agenda is approval of the following as substitute cooks for Pocahontas County Schools at state minimum service personnel salary for the 24-25 school year. Stephanie Aaron Boone and Andrea Sharp. I have a motion.
So moved.
Morgan made the motion. To have a second. I'll second. Andrew seconded. Any questions on this one? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Carries. Number 16 is approval of following the substitute custodians for Pocahontas County Schools as state minimum service personnel salary for the 2024-25 school year. Emergency use only. Heather Simmons. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor? Motion carries. And approval of the following as substitute teachers for Pocahontas County Schools at state minimum service personnel 25 school year. Janetta Rittenhouse. Have a motion?
So moved. That should be minimum service personnel. She says the teacher.
Yeah. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Approval of service of professional personnel.
So moved.
We made the motion, this time for a second. Here we go. All right, you're up. Mrs.
Green Bay Elementary Middle School. Request transfer James D. Chestnut from custodian 3 to ECAT special education classroom bus aid effective September 16th, 2024 for 175 days. For this school year, John, 200 days there. Employment at Hillsborough Elementary School, Darla Huddle is an equivalent here in law at Hillsborough Elementary School. Effective for the 24-25 school year, $25 per hour, $50 for a total of $1,030. Karen Lockhart is a veteran teacher, but it's been several years since she was out getting a position, so that's why we.
Someone that's have to do things.
It's policy or protocol for a brand new teacher to have a mentor as a brand new superintendent. Last year, I moved from, so, it is our protocol. But we also looked at, for instance, the otherwise here, this teacher that has not been in a position in that subject area or that area for several years, and policies and procedures change, and so we provide them. And we've also provided a mentor for Ms. Taylor with Barry Brisk, but we already have a contract. So, Hillsborough employment of Amy Hefner as cafeteria manager at September 9th. 180 days for this school year, 200 days thereafter. It's not been invisible for this morning. Just seems to be having a break. The Dr. Focus in the county had really been assisting her and this seems that she doing well. Employment at Marlton Elementary School, Darla Huddle as mentor for Melissa Walker at Marlton Elementary School. Again, Melissa Walker has been teaching 5th grade and is a new pre-K teacher. And so that's why we applied for her. Employment of Julianne Lacoste as a community school site coordinator for Marlton Elementary School, effective September the 16th. Employment of Dawn Brewster as ECAT special education classroom bus aide for Marlton Elementary School, effective September the 16th. Marlton Middle, employment of Paul W. Hill as volunteer coach for football for the 7th and 8th grade Warrior team.
I have a question.
Okay.
Paul's volunteering, and he said a fee of $700.
Right.
You don't volunteer. to get paid.
So was he the head coach or was he the volunteer?
With the 7th and 8th grade.
But if he's volunteering, he's not
If
getting.
he's volunteering, he's not getting paid.
So that's the way it was.
He's a volunteer to us.
No,
Well, they're saying he's a volunteer to 7th and 8th grade. If you're a volunteer, you're not paid.
right,
We have a lot of volunteer coaches that don't get paid.
correct. We'll change that. Resignation of Kim Balance as head custodian at Arlington Middle School, effective September 13th. Employment of Crystal Lewis as a mentor for Jeanette Wagner at Arlington Middle School for the 24-25 school year. Again, the same rates. And again, Jeanette, Ms. Wagner has been a teacher in several different areas, community schools. She's returning to special ed. It's been several years. And as we know, special ed policy and norms have changed slightly in the past few years. Employment at the high school with Cindy Solak as mentor for Brianna Morgan. And employment of Tristan Taylor as CTE Business Management and Administration for Pocahontas County High School. That's the CTE position that Camp Hesterson vacated, and she was employed on September 23rd. Retirement of Linda Beveridge, school counselor at Pocahontas County High School, effective September the 5th, 2024. And employment of Rhonda Woodbrook as limited sports trainer for the 24-25 athletic season with a supplement of $3,550. Requested transfer of Joseph Rose from custodian 3 at Pocahontas County High School to custodian 3 at Green Bank Elementary School, effective September 2020.
We back up that visit to the trainer. What is she going to train?
She is the,
Just football, basketball?
Just all the required trainers at football.
Yeah. We're gonna pay her
$3,500 football.
10 games. Not be there. She's gonna be there. The state says we have to have it
we cannot have practice or a game.
without
Okay. They get paid more than our coaches.
it. Well, they're actually hard to find.
Yes.
Really.
I know, we had looked out, we had Cindy for all those years.
Yeah.
When I was there.
We posted it several times too.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to mention, she says like, she's also there for cheer, band, and soccer. So, I mean, as far as hiring somebody, we're getting,
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm coming, whichever come up one day. And I think we, which, I don't know, let's bring that million, no, probably not. I don't, you know where I'm going with it.
we think, you think all the coaches.
I think all the coaches should be paying them an average of whatever, I think the state average it and pay. Yes.
Right, it is.
But I have a hard time letting them pay an athletic trainer, which I know she trained and stuff, but more than her coaches and stuff. And they spend as much time as they or more. I got that on you.
Jennifer Beveridge has been to all the football games.
Doctor.
Yeah. She's been at every football game, because we've had a couple of kids on it.
He had made me have Sharita Bennett.
She's there, so I got her son plays.
Yeah, when her
She's there, but not every game. But that really helps.
I know we had a lot of problems finding a trainer, and you gotta have one.
Yeah.
It may be time to look at the coaches again. The years, whenever we had to cut them coaches, because we wanted to save teachers.
Right.
We turn after them running back.
Right.
Yeah, we give them, we cut half their salaries in half at that time.
But we gave half of that half back to them.
Okay. Because we was paying, I remember at that time, we was paying almost, well, we was paying over what we could pay a teacher for, we had to have an academic teacher. Is why that happened. And that's been several years ago, so it might be time to go back and revisit that, take a look at it and see what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if funding's available, I think that's something to do.
But, you know, with me, you both done that.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions on the personnel? All these in favor, say aye. Motion carried. Number 19. Executive session, Nicole Rose Taylor, education audit results, personnel. Personnel. I have a motion. Oh.
Yes, and I'm gonna apologize. I had a screensaver so that, our public would know that we were in an executive session, but it didn't share. So
Okay.
I'll work on that next time.
All right. Are we down to matters of the board? Okay, Morgan?
I really don't have anything, though. I thought we had a good we had good training last week. Thank you, Lord. A lot of information out there, Annis.
Yeah, pretty good.
Ms. Longo?
I don't have anything other than it sounds like things are improving at the high school, and that's a positive. And I think that Hillsborough will be a happier place. Thank you all for that. I said I've spent my entire educational career trying to protect Hillsborough. Just one more step.
You got that. You got help tonight, did you? Mr. Gibson?
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir. Have some questions, have some, the educational leave policy. Has there been some motion on that kids that are like family members that want to go on vacation and 4-H and state fair, that's no longer granted leave policy anymore?
That is a state legislator, state code that was just passed. And so we were referring to parents, and I know there were a lot of concerns, they need to contact their representatives about that. So the state code, and I can't quote the code to you, I can find it, is, actually there was a, policy made for the State Department, and Julie Shipley, our attendance director, it was in a meeting today at the State Department with all the other attendance directors expressing the concern.
So this is something that's still kind of organic right now, that they have really,
It is in state code that there is no educational leave.
there is no education. So that means all that kind of thing.
They have to take, use a parent note. But again, Mr. Shipley was at the State Department today, from, this afternoon.
So I've had actually 3 people ask me about that just like this weekend. Okay. So then I guess once we find out something from the state, we'll upgrade our attendance policy and our policy to reflect
Well,
that.
our policies will have to change to reflect the.
Okay.
But yes, as soon as, I can ask Mrs. Shipley if she could be at our next meeting and to talk about the changes in the attendance.
Okay. Thank you for that. I have several parents ask me, how was the last Thursday when we canceled school? Is that a snow day? What was that?
It will be counted as one of our 5 days of accrued time.
Be one of our 5 days of recruitment. Okay. You see.
We're not the
Right. So that's it's one of our 5 days. Yeah, because so a lot of people they asked about it was thinking that should be excused.
We actually had this state superintendent had a meeting with all superintendents during that week. That question was asked, and we were instructed to use it as one of our.
Okay.
Yes.
I have several people, we've been talking about transparency all night. I want to mention it here. People want more transparency from the central office. That's all we'll say about that. I know there's a lot of things that we cannot talk about, but there you have it. I have a praise for Mr. J. Miller tonight from several staff members at one of the elementary schools. Mr. Miller I didn't realize this either, but I knew he'd been tutoring math. But Mr. Miller actually has been volunteering for several years now at Marlton Elementary School a lot. And he's been a really godsend. So I have some folks that want me to acknowledge that and bring that to the folks. I have several comments on the old Board of Education bill, which I think is great. It looks great. I tell you what, they did a really good job with that foundation. It is smooth. That is not, they did a good job there. What, do we have any, what's next for that? I mean, was there any money left over in that for things? What's that?
I'm waiting on that.
You're waiting on the numbers, okay? From the county commission? Okay,
From Region 4.
from Region 4. That's where the grant is from. Okay. All right, so then once we get some info, we'll move forward with whatever we're gonna do there.
We'll try fencing.
Yeah.
Is where our goal is.
Okay.
I'm speaking with Mr. Van Meter, this evening about it as well. He's like, oh, I'm so glad that, the decision was made to leave the pad there.
Oh,
He said they did an excellent job. He actually sent a note to the company saying what a great job, how professional. So,
super duper.
Yeah.
They having that gone, I was in school the other day and having that building gone, you look down that hallway, it changed the whole, it looks like you took the boards off of it. I mean, it's really, it's a big deal. And so good for that. And the last thing I have, well, no, next to the last thing was I want to, the live feed. People want to connect to that. How is that? Can we make that connect more public? Can we put it on our website or what is that?
I can show you, it's on the website, it's under the board meeting links. We have a big button that says live BOE meeting link.
They have to sign in, correct?
well, you have to,
You can put your name, I think.
Yeah.
Like I noticed tonight, somebody put him in and it let them in. But we could certainly post.
So, if you go to Board of Education links and agenda, and then it's live BOE meeting link.
Yeah, right there it is. So it's not Zoom,
We use Teams.
it's through Teams? Okay, all right. So that, can we do a better job of, maybe publicizing that?
Yeah, I'm happy to share that on Facebook, I'll share it tomorrow.
And then the last thing I have is,
On the agenda.
so the last thing I have is, I think that, like I said, it's doing an incredible job.
The pot.
Doing okay. And that's all I have, sir. Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
So Mr. McNabb?
I finished my orientation training, had all that, so that was good. The other thing that we had talked about earlier was, the transparency. And we're planning on trying to set up some kind of a meeting, an informational meeting somewhere. We're trying to get a hold of all the organizations we want involved so that everybody will be involved and everybody will have protocols, policy. That's something that's coming, that we're working on. We understand that there's a lot of people want the information, they want it now, but you gotta give us a little bit of time to get it straightened out.
Me and Ms. Bostic had also talked about that in emails and stuff. Like, if we have that meeting, we can get it set up at the Pocahontas State High School. That's the central thing, and we either have it in the auditorium there or in the gymnasium.
And, and I think that I just want the public to realize that every agency has protocols.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, with the hospital, with us, with 911, law enforcement, we're all following the protocol that we've established. We all.
And I would like to share with everybody that those policies and procedures were followed. So that's, We're gonna try to do a little bit better and keep you more information. And like I said, if we can get this meeting set up, please come and ask your questions.
Yeah. Now, if we set that meeting up, Mr. Bostic, that'll have to be as a county, as a board meeting. Because the five of us together goes to a meeting. We can't be together unless we do that. So, I think the public needs to be a little more informed on that and what happens when there is a threat. How do we handle it as a board? And what we go through.
I think all of us want to keep children safe.
We, and prevention that's the greatest thing in the world. Have we heard anything else, Mrs. Bostic, about pro officers in schools?
I did not from the state level. I have talked to another county that's similar size to us that actually have one in every school. And I asked them how you fund those. And the superintendent explained to me that they have it in their levy call, and actually she sent me their levy call, but it is in their levy. Because the funding is not coming from the State Department or legislature.
I know a couple of years ago, they put out for a pro officer that we was gonna get two, and then they pulled the funding, Sherry.
Right. And I was saying, I've, spoken to Chair Barlow as well as Michael, or two about if they ever hear grants that would be available, that I would be very interested in working with them to do those. And yeah, right now, there's nothing out.
The other thing I thought about approaching is the county commission and saying, hey, would you fund a couple of pro officers in the schools? Because we're 30 minutes from everywhere.
Exactly. And on a good day.
On a good day, depending on who's
where.
You get to. Oh.
Yeah, the county commission.
I will.
Because, the county commission is like the Board of Education. They want to protect our kids as much as we do, or I would hope they would. And I would hope that they would maybe help with that.
Right. I should have said in my updates too, just a great appreciation for law enforcement. Because they were fabulous, to work with during all of that. And of course, it was statewide, which is why the governor then took over and everything was going through the fusion center. Because instead of each county's law enforcement researching, investigating the same threat, because we were all getting the same, then, they could combine that. That's why it's my understanding, why he made that call to go to the fusion center. But the county police, our local state police, as well as their department, everybody was outstanding.
I read on the newspaper something on my phone, they arrested 20 people in West Virginia.
The state superintendent also has issued for us to work with high school students and their families to understand the importance of monitoring your child's social media accounts and what they were doing on this account, as well as also educating students about sharing some of these, posters and so because some of the posts were coming from in other countries, honestly, when because the FBI was also involved in some of the investigations.
Different states.
Right, different states, different.
But I like to see that meeting get set up too.
And if we can't get the county commission there and let them know how important it is.
Get somebody in our schools. Hopefully with this threat, the legislature will bring that pro officer back up again to fund it.
It'd be a silver lining.
I think it's every year in February.
But they have a meeting at the Marriott in Charleston where you can go, they take you over to meet your legislators.
Probably something on our
School systems. But especially
rural counties.
The last 3 years, we've done a safety survey and said what we want, which was for all officers and enclosing in the structure. Never found. But every county is asked to do that.
that's,
If you all get that set up, let's press that. No, and Okay. Adjournment. Do I have our next Board of Education meeting will be held on Tuesday, October the 15th, 2024, beginning at 3:30 at Greenbank Elementary Middle School for an LSIC teaching plan meeting, followed by the regular board meeting at 4:45. Huh? Yep.
3:30.
No. Everybody got that? All right. Do I have a meeting to adjourn?
Morgan made the motion and Mr. Gibson seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. We are hereby adjourned at 8:25.